Hi, here today to demonstrate the new Spark wood gas camping stove. The beauty of this stove is that all you need when you go camping is the stove, and you don't have to carry any fuel with you. You find it all as you go. So this is the stove. When it's stored in your pack, the power unit stores neatly inside of the combustion chamber. It quickly assembles to the side. I think this looks like a pretty good spot because there's a nice stone here. Just set the stove right up on there. And all you do is find some twigs around your campsite. I like to start off with a couple of leaves in the bottom. And then just drop a bunch of twigs in there. And you notice on the side there's a switch. This is the power unit. What the stove does is it uses heat to generate electricity, which will add oxygen to the fire. So I make sure the fan is on and that the vent is open on the bottom. And I also like to carry a little bit of starter material with me. So this is just compressed sawdust with a little bit of wax in it. And when you put it in, you concentrate it right near that little heat pipe that conducts heat to the power unit, and then just light a little bit of the stuff on fire. You don't need it, but it's nice. It kind of helps the whole thing start up a little more quickly. It's good to let the fire start for a couple minutes. You'll see right now there's a little bit of smoke while it's going, but the smoke will pass once it gets hot enough and the fan starts turning and adding more oxygen to the mix. You can see now that the fan's starting to turn. You can see the jets along the side are starting to add oxygen. You can also see a slight swirl to the whole mixture. And you can also see that now there's no more smoke. So what I'll do is I'll add a little bit more wood. And I can just put my pot right on top and start cooking. With this, we can boil water about as fast as a jet boil or even, a reactor stove. It takes about 3 minutes or so to boil. This is probably 2 cups of water or so. You can see as it's building heat, you're also getting a larger flame, but that's controllable on the side here. Come and look on the left-hand side of the stove. You can see that there's a heat control switch, which raises and lowers the speed of the fan. So you can see that while it's running, it's really got a nice clean flame. One thing I can do is very easy to add additional fuel. Just got little pieces of wood that I'd stacked by the side. Just toss them right in there. So, just a little bit of extra wood if I want to heat the fire up some. If you look in, you can see the flame is really swirling where the oxygen is being added to the fire. And the whole thing is nice and cool the whole time it's running. You can keep your hands on it. It's nice and insulated, which is amazing because in the middle the fire is 1400 degrees, which is really pretty hot. It's hotter than any propane or white gas fire from a camp stove. So you can see now we've got a real full rolling boil. So this would be enough to cook you know, ramen or mac and cheese or something like that. If you wanted to simmer, what you would do is you would leave a little bit less fuel in there. And you can see right now as it's burning down a little bit, this is probably a pretty decent flame to simmer on. You can even let it go down a little bit lower. And then you could do something like saute vegetables or grill sausages or anything like that. So anyway, we'll let this cook for a few minutes, and once we're done cooking, we'll come back and show you how to put it out. Pretty much at any point, once you don't have either yellow or blue flames coming off, it's an okay time to extinguish the stove. You can do this one of two ways. One, you can let it burn down. The power plant will continue to add oxygen until the coals are completely burned out. Or sometimes what I like to do is I'll take my coals and with whatever remaining water I have in my pot, or you can even just pour water on top of them, is I'll take my coals and I'll put them right in the pot with the water. So this way I really know that they're completely out. I'll take this and really just a little ways away from my campsite. Dig a little bit of a hole, and when I know that these are really out, I can pour that in my water the same way you would with a normal camp sump, just right into the hole. Cover it back up so that we don't really leave a trace. And then lastly, you can see in the stove, you can see that you can hear the fan still going, and so what that's doing is even once you're finished, it continues to cool the stove so that you're ready to go on your way a little bit sooner. That process usually takes about 5 minutes.